All right, fun facts. You got some?
Yeah, fun facts. This is the biggest one. So a lot of people don't really seek out treants, but some people do. And it's not just because they want to talk with a tree or they're on a magical quest. I guess they are technically on a little quest. But they're looking for something that treants make. So it's a treasure that treants don't really care about, but they make it. And it's I think it's called Ent tea or something like that. It's this type of tea that takes centuries for the treants to make. So that's another thing they'll be doing. But it has crazy abilities. So let's say you have a disease that's uncurable, just drink some of the treant. Just drink some of that. If you want to live longer, drink some of that. You could be a human that lives up to like 300 years.
Yeah,
so it's legendary.
It's based. Yeah. So this tea, which I don't know the name of. I don't know if there is one. But they use it to give themselves
like
energy.
Stamina.
And like
it's like a
it's a life force drink.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's made for this giant tree. So if you drink it as a little humanoid, it's got very powerful effects on you. And they range. Like there's no specific effect. As a DM, you can give it all sorts of effects, but they'd all be related to like natural healing and stuff like that, or strength. So I think I had the same fun fact. And so some of the possible effects it could have is cure wounds. Like it could just completely heal you. Maybe you got some rock grub in you. Drink some of that. Maybe it'll flush them out.
Or maybe it'll make the rock grub stronger.
Maybe it will. That's true.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, it could make you. I think it could make you like as strong as a treant. Like it could just like instantly make you a strong treant. Like it has major effects.
How I kind of think about it's kind of like a 5-hour energy or like a Red Bull to like a normal treant. But imagine like a mouse drinking an entire thing, like
a mouse.
Yeah. But imagine him drinking just like you would think like in real life, don't do that. You're just gonna kill the mouse. Don't do that, guys. But like if it was fantasy, that mouse is gonna be God mouse. He's gonna be like freaking able to lift up like stuff you can't. You're like,
but this entity, which I do kind of like the name of. I've never heard that, but maybe you've given it a name.
I think that's what it's called. But it's.
What about Treant? Treant.
Shut up. Mine's better. I'm just kidding, guys. But yeah. That's a cool thing. That would be a cool quest. You're like, you have a friend who's like dying. You're like, we gotta give him some stuff.
Yeah.
And like,
it could be a quest to get.
And then the elf is like, hey, just talk to a treant, and he might give you some. And it's actually rare for them to give it to you unless they're like, hey, you might actually help out nature. So why not? But yeah, it takes them freaking forever to make it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They don't just hand it out willy-nilly.
But it's very delicious. Tastes just like cranberries, I think. Green tea with cranberries. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good stuff. Yeah. And really cool. The drink is really cool. So it makes you live longer, gives you strength. I believe it also like gives you like stamina.
Okay.
Like a buttload of stamina.
So if you got your Skyrim stamina bar, just refill it.
Also, it helps with magic too. Your spells, I believe.
How would stamina? No, actually, I just realized. Stamina. So how would you give someone more stamina in D&D?
You can make their constitution higher. Constitution also relates.
I mean, there's exhaustion. But constitution isn't just stamina. It's also like your physical toughness, your ability to. I mean, it would. Constitution would be the.
Well, yeah, but you would use constitution. Like you actually can't dash infinitely. Yeah, that's like a sprint. So it's like you can dash 3 times plus your constitution modifier. So if you have like a +2, you can dash 5 times in a row. Okay. And if you go beyond that, you have to make a constitution check.
Okay, so it may...
So it does actually like kind of like affect things.
So if you're going to increase a modifier, it'd either be strength or constitution, which makes sense because that's the 2 that are very high on a treant.
That's true. Yep, very high. So it gives long. I believe it adds 100 years to your life. So pretty cool. So some humans are like, hey, I want some of that tea. And the treant's like, no, stop it. And you sure like push him away. He's like, I'll do it for nature. He's like, all right, here you go. Hands him like, I'm not sure what the treants drink it with. Do they have like a tiny little mug? Like how much do the treants drink of it? Like,
I have no idea.
Do they like just grab like a barrel of it and they drink it? And then
maybe it's like a little shot.
A little shot.
They just take it and they're like,
that's
okay.
so strong. What's it? Does that mean that stuff is alcohol to Treant? They're like, whoa, that stuff
or
is
more
strong.
like cocaine or something. Like just a major alcohol is a depressant.
Jesus.
I think this would be more of a stimulant.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so I gotta. Okay, so we go on. So Treant, as I've named it,
Treant.
or Entity.
NT sounds cooler.
Dungeon debate. No, I'm just kidding.
Comment down below which one's better.
Yeah, I guess there's. Okay.
Or Treat.
A little mini debate there.
Tree shampoo.
Okay, another fun fact. They have a very, very good memory, which makes sense because they live so long, so you kind of need one.
They're kind of like an elephant.
Like an elephant.
But their memory can be lacking, though.
Yeah, because they live so long, even though they have such a good memory, they live so long that they forget things. And so, that's the fun fact. But, I mean, they're a great way to share, like, history of your world, if you wanted to do that, because they would remember.
There's another fun fact that goes on that one. There's stuff that, if they want to remember something, they'll put it into a song or a poem. And they'll remember it through
mnemonics
mnemonics,
yeah.
So they're like, wait, what was that guy's name? Oh, there's a man named Ragnar the Red. And they started like singing, and he got his head chopped off, and they rolled down the.
And that's when he said.
I forget the song. It's in Skyrim.
Oh, okay.
I love that song. Or like, wait, what was that guy?
I thought you just came up with it. I was like, oh, that kind of made that.
If I wish I came up with it, but people would be angry in the comments below saying you got that from Skyrim. They would be all mad. But yeah, so they'll put their songs and poems and stuff. They can actually also make bird sounds. They can mess with you, birds.
Yes.
It's a tree.
Okay, let's see what else. We've said a lot of my fun facts, I will say.
I got one.
Okay.
So there's different types of treants. Of course, there's like birch, oak, different stuff. So there is a birch. They give you a special thing. If you go up to a birch treant, they make flavorable sap. Super delicious sap. It is worth a bottle of it is worth 50 gold of treant sap. It's magical.
Wow.
It's the good stuff. It's like if you went to Canada, right? Get the Canadian sap. Boom. Get some syrup, put them on some waffles, get a donkey. Booyah.
Yeah, I know there's different types of treants. Like there's the birch, like you said. There's others. And they all do have different things. I could have swore that was something. I remember reading about that. What else? Do you know what else things give?
Well, I only have two other ones. I didn't write down the full name of the tree because I'm dumb. But like some people call them golden trees. Their bark actually has pieces of gold in them.
Oh.
So shinies.
Okay.
So when they shed their bark, like it's like bark, very like parts of the bark are gold and some of it's bark. But there's like gold in there.
Yes. I wrote it down because I knew I would forget it. Yeah, so different subspecies, like each...
make different things.
Yeah, they just have different things. And so you may be pursuing... So there's different things. So I think I wrote down. For example, dyeing, not death. I mean, like, some trees give off things that you can use for dye, like making colors.
Oh, I thought you meant, like, literal dyeing. But then you said not death, and I was like, wait, I'm so confused.
Like making a cloth a certain color. Medicine, so they have, like, medicinal...
Yes.
Properties.
Literally, there was a story of this one oak treant that went up to a dying like civilization. They're like, "Hey guys, took off a leaf." It's like, "Here you go," and they just made the antidote.
Just chew that.
So oak treants are actually really good. They cure plagues. Locusts, get out of here. Literally, they cure like a lot of stuff. So like a kingdom, like this would be a cool. I guess this is a little extra idea. Kidnap an oak tree and say, save our castle. And he could have been like, you could have just told me to do that.
Could have just asked.
Yeah, just asked.
Yeah. So yeah, medicinal, and then the last one is sometimes things are like very exotically flavored or just really good.
Yeah.
So they might be like a delicacy. It's like this is from a Treants whatever.
Treant waffles.
Yeah.
They're good.
Exactly. So yeah, that is a fun fact. So you could have a campaign very easily where like your PCs need to go collect from a treant.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Collect whatever.
Yeah, collect.
Which would be a cool encounter. And if you want them to fight it, I guess you would make them. You
Treant's
would make
like,
the Treants.
No, that's
Nope.
my leaf.
Yeah, it's mine. But they probably wouldn't. If the PCs found the Treant, the Treant would probably be like, all right, yeah, here you go. Depending on what it
Get
is.
out of here.
But okay, fun facts. So I do another one. So some Treants can be very mighty and old, and they can be very magical because of that. They're like these old, ancient, magical Treants, and they can have all sorts of powers. One of which is like summoning the forest creatures and woodland creatures.
So they're wizards.
So that could just be they could be like Ant-Man with ants, but with squirrels. It's like,
oh god,
squirrels to me, and then they all swarm.
Or they'll have like the call lightning spell, but once they cast it, creates fire, they're like, oh god.
Yeah, they would definitely not use that.
They would do that, but
that would
like
be funny.
I just imagine a Treant like messing with magic, wizard Treant. And it's like, I wonder what this spell does. It causes lightning. He's like, oh, and fire's like, oh god, put it out. He's like trying to like.
Yeah, that could be a little quirky Treant character, NPC.
Treant, yeah.
Okay. Another fun fact I got is if a Treant stays somewhere for like a year or more, it will start to look like it can if it wants to. It will start to look like the forest around it. So it can like actually change its appearance to different types of forest.
So we can't have those like Game of Thrones like old god trees just chilling.
You can. The gods would.
Yeah, the gods would.
What about it?
What if they're Treants?
They might be.
But they would change though.
They're not though.
That would be sick, having a Godswood Treant. Like the Night King comes in, and then the Treant pops up. Hey,
Treant's like, no.
No. And do you think the Bright Lord is cooling off? Nah, I'm a tree.
I don't exactly know this. I should know this. Exactly the history of the Godswood. I know, like, the sap goes down, and it looks like they're crying.
It makes
and
things, right?
I get the sense that it's like the old gods are dead in some sense, or something bad happened, and those trees were a representation of them, and this is linked to the children of the forest, and now that they're dead, they're like crying forever or something like that. I don't know. I have no clue.
But people still pray to them now. But then you got the Bright Lord, which is fire, the opposite of trees. They burn you.
The Lord of Light. Yeah, these are like newer gods.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's all my fun facts. Do you have any others? Not extra ideas, fun facts.
I mean, I did have one. They actually don't like evil plants.
Interesting. Okay.
So let's say a wizard made a bush, like living, and the bush kind of like waddled around. A awakened shrub.
Mm-hmm.
The tree and say, "Nope, that's mine now," and the awakened shrub will go against his master.
Really? They can just control it?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure why you would do that. And that's kind of like you're stupid, but yeah, they can do that.
They can overtake the.
Well, I mean, they would just persuade the bush. What are you doing? And the bush is like, "Why am I alive right now?" Oh God!
Yeah.
Man, rip all this awakened stuff, like awakened elementals, like earthquakes. So he's like, "What's going on?"
Well, again,
having a panic attack.
Well, I think you're personifying them a little bit. Like they might be moving around and alive, but that doesn't mean they got what we going on in our heads.
Oh yeah, I know, but I've heard, fun fact about elementals, the reason why they're hostile is because they just want to die and they just want to become what they were. Like the air elemental doesn't want to be air elemental, he just wants to be air. God dang it! I want to be air.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that when we talk about elementals.
Yeah, that's kind of it for my fun facts, though.
All right, then let's go right into extra ideas.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Make them bigger.
Make them bigger.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, I have like the giant holy tree.
Yeah, but we said that already.
Well, yeah, but like imagine like freaking sick.
No, well, yes.
I don't know, like, they think they can blow up the tree, but then the tree just wakes up to swats, like, a bunch of those helicopters, freaking, like, get out of here.
Yeah, that could be a plot.
That could be sick.
It's kind of like, when you have a campaign where it's like, we need to stop the, like, ancient god from coming into the world, the ancient evil god. This would be the reverse. Like, if you're an evil campaign, like...
Kill the tree.
It could be like, we need to stop the ancient tree from becoming a treant, because that would be too good for the side of goodness. You know what I mean? It would kill all of evil. When we are evil.
Man, you must be a really evil person to think that way. It's like, yeah, we gotta stop goodness.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. If it was an evil campaign.
Yeah, I guess so. But like, we gotta stop good things. Like I could never imagine myself saying that. Like we gotta stop the good. You know, like we gotta kill the good.
Boy, that's because you're not evil.
Or evil.
Yes. But speaking of evil, if you ever wanted an evil treant,
evil treants,
there is magic that animates them, and so.
Can't they be dead too? Like aren't there like zombie treants?
Oh yeah, I didn't bring that up in the beginning. There's different types of treants that are not just the player type. Like there's like evil treants, corrupted treants, all this sort of stuff, and those are different. And basically, this fun fact is really just to say, if you want an evil treant,
make it corrupted.
You can corrupt the magic that animates it. That's one way. There are other ways, and we'll get into them probably as separate episodes because they are completely different. They don't want to protect the forest. Like they're all different. So. Yeah.
Man, wizards are just mean. I kind of feel like they're the ones that are corrupting the trees. Like, what did the treants ever do to you?
What wizards are we talking about?
Well, I feel like it takes a wizard to corrupt a treant, right?
Not necessarily.
What else can do that?
And like an evil deity or warlock.
But why would you mess with the treant? Why would the evil god be like, hey, I'm just going to mess with these treants, make them on my side?
Why'd the Demogorgon just mess around with lions, goats, and dragons to make the Chimera? Because the Demogorgon was bored. The Demogorgon was like, man, this place is boring. Let's just make some. So there's tons of
stuff up.
It's evil things. They do what they want. All right, here's an idea. So trees. This would be a subtle one, but let's say you had a really treant heavy campaign for whatever reason. I mean, it'd be cool. So do it. You could make their moods like change by the season.
So are they just like dead in the winter? They're like just like
they might be grouchy in the winter. Yeah.
Can I have some of your...
or sleepy too? Like just like they just woke up.
Could I have some of your NT? Shut up! Oh my god! I swear.
Trying to sleep.
Trying to sleep. God,
yeah.
Dang it. Or wait, I'm pretty sure that's a race of
elves. And in the fall, they're like really itchy because they're like shedding. They're like,
or they're just
I'm having to deal with all my leaves falling off.
Oh,
well, you could make spring really happy.
I'm pretty sure there's actually a race that's literally elves that like their mood changes per season. They're like fae.
Maybe.
Play as
no, perhaps. Yeah. But I think you could do that for Treants too. That's just an extra idea. Again, that's not.
I have a cool idea. Make them a siege monster.
They are a siege monster.
Shh. What I mean is, when you're on the good, when you're attacking a castle, you're like, hey, some Treants, they've been chopping up your friends. They get angry. And they go, and then elves ride them. You know, they're on like, and then little sprites come out, and it's like a freaking nature war. That would be sick.
Okay.
Treants fighting each other because they're like, we have to protect this forest. They're like, no, we gotta protect this forest, and they fight each other.
That would be.
Civil War.
That is a DM challenge right there. Try to make a plot that makes sense to where Treants would fight each other. That'd be a hard one to like
Treants
justify.
Versus dragons, or not dragons, giants. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, if the giants are impeding.
I'm pretty sure Treants would roast a giant, except fire giants or storm giants.
Who knows?
Well, hill giants would be stupid.
Who knows? Okay, well, let's not ramble. We gotta be concise to some extent. Okay. So so a couple ideas of like how you could get like a treant to get mad at your players without your players being like evil or mean to a
treant,
to the forest, to nature. Because my players normally are pretty they're respectful, right? They're not just going around chopping down trees or lighting things on fire. That's gonna change. But I know, man, I know my players, and I bet this would work for most people. This is totally a way to trick people into being disrespectful to the forest, is have them come across a bear den or like a bear thing with like cubs. But basically make it a bear encounter where this bear attacks them. Of course, it's a mama bear protecting her cubs, but I bet you those PCs are going to kill that bear. Or they're going to be like, oh, the DM wants us to fight a bear. They kill the bear, and then...
And the treant's like, what the heck, man?
And then the treant's like, what? That's the cubs don't have a mom anymore. And then treant's like, oh, you're getting it now.
Yeah, and then the treant makes them feel bad about them. So it's like, look what you did. You made those cubs freaking orphans. Now they're going to be freaking bat cubs now.
Yeah, and so I guess the
or
underlying...
make the bear an owl bear.
but I guess the underlying message of that was an example, is to just, nature can be dangerous. But nature is nature, right? It's not evil. It can very much be dangerous and hurt you, but it's not doing it for evil reasons. And so if you put your PCs up against these just natural phenomenon, in a way that's like threatening and like on a timetable and stressful, then your PCs might mess up and not handle it as best as they could, just like killing the mama bear. And that's when you can get a Treant step in and be like, okay,
you're dead.
You're dead.
Wait, so would Treants hate chimps then? Chimps just kill for pleasure, man.
They might. They might.
Oh, I also had an idea. Make different habitat Treants. You know, make like... I don't think there's water trees, are there? Like a swamp Treant? That would be cool.
Yeah.
It's like, get out of my swamp.
Could make them out of like seaweed or like moss or...
Seaweed Treant.
Yeah, that'd be weird. That'd be kind of like the vine thing in Avatar. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, what that was connected to a giant. See, there are two giant trees.
Well, no, that wasn't a Treant. That was bending. That was a form of water bending, I believe, or plant or earth.
Well,
bending.
no, remember they went back there like, yeah, this swamp's connected to this giant freaking tree.
Oh, another big tree.
Yeah, another big tree. Yeah. What's with big trees?
Yes.
Or make Treant kingdoms. That would be cool. Like, welcome to the king of the Birchwoods. There's like a king Treant and a queen Treant.
Yeah, they could, depending on how you want to do the structure. They would be really ancient. But, yeah, you could. That would be cool.
That would be cool. Like, Treant guards. They're, like, freaking huge.
That would be more of a race thing. Because, again, the monsters just don't really... They're too slow. They just sit
around. This is an extra idea. Just saying.
That's true. It's an extra idea.
But, or with Treants with, like, weapons.
Yeah.
Scary.
That's just a giant club.
Like a giant
do that.
spear or something.
Why not?
But it's made of wood.
But they're not, like, hostile. So they wouldn't just walk around with a weapon because they're not really out to fight. You know what I mean? They're out to just take care of things.
Hammers build things. Just have them have a hammer.
True, sure.
Hammers are tools.
I don't know what they're hammering, but yes. Okay.
Hammering you.
Okay, let's only speak. Let's try to be concise. Okay.
I am. I'm talking about them with weapons. That'd be sick.
Yes, it would be cool. All right, next thing. Make the Treant. So in D&D, you kind of want your PCs to understand or try to get immersed in that the world, it matters what they do, right? Like, if you kill this villager has a family back home. Like, you don't want to just make everyone look like these bots, right? Treants are a good way to make your PCs understand that the world does care what you do. And so if a Treant may only be in your campaign to be a ready consequence of if they are disrespecting nature. If they are willing to just slaughter the mama bear, then Treant is a good way to say there's things watching you. Like, this isn't just I give you a beast and you kill it. This is you're in a world with all these creatures that have their own motivations, and one of them is to protect the forest. So don't mess around. You know what I mean? So I think Treants are a good way of doing that. I think that's just like a...
Yeah, that is for like the watchers. The watchdogs. They watch. Yes. And they'll punish you if you do something dumb.
Yeah. Okay, and do you have any more?
I don't have any more.
Okay, I got a few more. One is if the PCs lose. Let's say you're fighting a Treant, PCs lose. The Treant will likely just throw them out of the forest. So you don't have to kill your PCs, right? So that could be a reason that allows you to put a Treant up against weaker characters because you know that in the end the Treant probably wouldn't kill them anyway. So you're not just totally killing your party. And then afterwards they throw them out of the forest and they would likely be they're not going to put the PCs back where they came from. Like the PCs might be somewhere they have no idea where they are. So now they're like lost. You know what I mean? But that could be something. Okay, next. Okay, a Treant's aid, so like a Treant helping the PCs, could be a good reward for PCs being respectful to the forest. So let's say like...
Oh, you're lost in this forest. Here, follow me.
Yeah, that, or like the PCs have been really good, like maybe they helped a creature in need, and then they're attacked by whatever. The Treant might come in and be like, I saw you guys were good. Like, maybe they're getting ambushed by goblins, and then the Treant's like, I got you guys. and just crushes the goblins. He's like, I don't normally do this, but I noticed what you guys did, so thank you.
Yeah, it kills like bajillion goblins.
And that's good to do because PC it's you like saying good job to your players, in a non-metagame sense, which makes them feel good. So I think that's good to do every now and then.
It is.
You mentioned I said Treant army too because that would just be awesome. I mean, it's Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's my
like weapons. Jesus, like throwing like javelins.
Yeah, but they just don't.
Rip that city.
They throw rocks. A rock is better than a javelin. A giant boulder.
But what happens if the dude? Well, I guess they're like ballistas if they throw javelins. I guess.
Sort of.
Treants would be like the good side. Instead of having catapults, they have treants.
But they don't use metal. That's not. They're not their nature, right? So rock is about as hard as they'd get. They're not going to have a metal ballista spear. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
you could throw a wooden spear, but it would shatter if it hits a wood.
Well, no, I mean, do you remember like in Godzilla versus Kong when King Kong freaking made that tree spear?
Yeah, I do.
Chuck that thing. That thing went straight through like glass, metal. Like that thing was lethal.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, not a stone wall, but like that thing was lethal. Like
Yeah.
If they're trying to kill like a dragon or something.
But a treant would never cut down trees to make spears. You know what I mean? It would just never do that.
What if they're dead?
Then it's gonna be very weak wood. So I don't think weapons fit well with treants. But maybe you do whatever you want. Extra idea. All right, this is my last one. Last extra idea, and that'll be it for treants. Treants are plants, and they can hold things within them. And so a lot of times, not a lot of times, but they sometimes they will protect something within themselves. So let's say like an elf comes up to them and they're like, this magical item needs to be protected for the good of the forest and the good of the world, the good of the realm. I believe you, Treant, should protect it. And the Treant might be like, sure. And put it like inside of them. And it like grows over it. And,
that would be sick,
and so they have like this like really magical thing within them.
Just don't put a flame tongue in there though.
Right. It wouldn't be fire based. But yeah. All right. Well, that's all I got for Treants.
Wait, so that means you can have mech fights with Treants. There could be two people that go in two different Treants and they're like,
I guess so.
That would be sick.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for Treants.